Hello, welcome once again to Breakfast All Day. I am Christy. That is Matt. That is Alonzo. Next up for us is Tesla, starring Ethan Hawke as Nikola Tesla, as opposed to Nicholas Hoult as Nikola Tesla. This does cover quite a bit of the same territory as the current war, which, did we talk about that last year? I think we did.
I don't think so.
I didn't see it, but I can't remember if we reviewed it or not.
The current war, the director's cut.
Oh, right.
Did we not do that because it got recut and re-released?
I didn't see it.
Me neither, so I guess not.
It covers a lot of the same territory.
We know that Ben didn't see it.
That Ben did not see it. I don't even know where Ben is.
Well, Godard always said the best way to review a movie is to make another movie. So maybe this is Michael Almereyda's response to the current war.
There you go. Matt, describe Tesla.
Ethan Hawke is Tesla. So Ethan Hawke is Nikola Tesla, and the movie is, the story of his life and how he started out working with Thomas Edison, worked in his workshop for a while, then struck out on his own. Edison is played by Kyle MacLachlan here. He strikes up a friendship with someone that you later learn to be the daughter of J.P. Morgan, Anne Morgan, played by Eve Hewson, who is Bono's daughter.
And she was on The Nick.
Yes, I was just going to say, for those that watch The Nick, she was on that show. And, we see Tesla come up with a different type of electrical power, alternating current as opposed to direct current. Amongst the things that Edison pulls, we see that Edison builds a electric chair to show that direct current or that alternating current is very dangerous. But then at the Chicago World's Fair, so much power is provided by alternating current that Tesla basically wins that. Then he goes off to Colorado to work on the idea of basically broadcasting current. And, that dovetails with one of the scenes that you end up seeing in The Prestige, where Tesla was played by David Bowie. Right. He's hiding out in Colorado trying to do his work in secret. This movie's very stylized in certain ways. Eve Hewson is narrating the movie as Anne Morgan, but then there's these weird, interesting anachronisms, like she's on a computer and tells you, if you Google Nikola Tesla, you'll get 3.2 million results, and there's only basically 4 pictures. There's a scene with ice cream cones and, the little wafer cones that were not created at that era.
I was going to say, you were describing this as a conventional biopic, and it is very much not.
And it's not, right? It's got, is there a little bit of drunk history in there? Yes. And rather than go
knowingly so, but in a fun way. So.
And rather than go to big outdoor locations, they put them in front of a screen, and a lot of that kind of works.
Did you guys see Experimenter?
No.
The movie with Peter Sarsgaard and Winona Ryder about
and it's the same director, right?
Yes, Michael Almereyda, and he would do the same thing in that one, and that was in the 50s, but he would still put them in front of what was obviously a mat, just to sort of get us through from one scene to the other, and MATTE. And so, he's very much playing around with notions of biopics. I was thinking this actually would be a really cool double feature with Radioactive, which we talked about a couple weeks ago, because that movie also sort of lulls you into thinking it's going to be your standard, great science person does this thing and then this thing and then this thing. And it spins it in a lot of different directions and takes a much larger view and examines it from different angles in a way that's really interesting.
I really dug it. And I think if you want a more conventional biopic, you're going to be annoyed by the many flourishes and idiosyncrasies. I kind of dug all that. And this is the same director who did that really cool modern version of Hamlet with Ethan Hawke 20 years ago.
And the great Marjorie Prime, one of my favorite movies of the last few years. I love
Marjorie Prime, yes. So he's really inventive. And I think you guys would agree with me on this. I love a biopic that just goes for it like this in weird ways and tries to upend the often stodgy structure of these kinds of movies.
Totally.
Again, it's not going to be for everyone. There's a moment
Yes.
That the whole movie grinds to a halt for a modern-ish song that is unexpected.
Yes.
I will say that. But not everyone's going to like that. People are going to freak out and get pissed off. But I dug it, and it's beautiful and strange. Yeah.
And those people can go watch The Current War. You know, they want that movie. That movie exists. This is not that.
And it does cover a lot of the same territory. So The Current War, you had from Edison's perspective, Benedict Cumberbatch played Edison, and Michael Shannon was Westinghouse. Here you have Kyle MacLachlan as just an asshole as Edison, and I like Jim Gaffigan as Westinghouse. I like him playing roles where he's not his usual folksy aw shucks dad persona. I mean, there's a lot more to him than that.
He's been doing a lot of indie work of late, and in dramatic roles too. I mean, I think there's an interesting kind of modern take about Tesla where people like to sort of portray him as, the genius, but he didn't understand business enough, and so he was crushed under the wheels of these business magnates and blah blah blah. And there's truth to that, and that is part of his story. But I think this movie draws him as a character who's more complex than that in a lot of ways, and he does have faults, and he is not always his own greatest champion, but at the same time, he was this incredible visionary, and he was in this period of, the Industrial Revolution where people like Morgan and Edison and Westinghouse were making huge fortunes for themselves, and were doing it in a lot of ways by running over people like Tesla, who had great ideas, but didn't have the necessarily the stomach for the way that, capitalism works. And, and of course, in the movies, especially like Edison, I think we generally consider that he's tried to steal the idea of the movies themselves from the Lumiere brothers. So, he makes a very ripe villain for filmmakers, I think.
I mostly like this movie up until I did not care for the way it ended. Because it felt like it just kind of stops. Like almost as bad as the way, but it's not a joke. Almost as bad as the way Monty Python and the Holy Grail stops.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I was like, wait, we're stopped. We're ending here? Are you kidding? Yeah.
Well, that's the thing about a biopic. Where do you begin and where do you end? And sometimes lives don't loan themselves to that kind of like narrative. Ta-da!
Especially a movie like this where it is so different structurally. Tonally.
Yeah, I was on board with all of the other stuff that it was doing. Totally into it. Totally dug the way the narration worked and how Hewson's narration is very again from Anne Morgan's. It's as if Anne Morgan's narrating it. There's a lot of the stylistic pieces here that I really dug, but just where it stops and how it stops, I just didn't. It lost some points for me. But that being said, I think that Ethan Hawke is terrific in this. I think the whole cast is really good. I agree with you. I like Gaffigan in this a lot. I like MacLachlan's oily charm in this. But yeah, I just did not care for the ending.
Okay, so what's your number?
7.
Okay, I'm saying 7.8.
I said 8.8. I really dug this, and I think that it's. I like the way that Almereyda is taking on the sort of established biopic and kind of chopping and channeling it in a lot of ways, and I think it's for the most part very effective.
7.9 is our number.
So yeah, it is currently streaming in the places where you rent movies, iTunes, Amazon, stuff like that. So anyway, thanks for watching. Please like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us at BeFastAllDay on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/BeFastAllDay. We're kicking off our coverage of HBO's Lovecraft Country this week, and Matt and I will be talking about the Hallmark Channel's, believe it or not, groundbreaking Wedding Every Weekend. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.